I start at the city of Pohang. There's a bike road, a bike-only road. It goes parallel to the sea, so I decided to follow it just to avoid the trouble of sharing the road with the cars. Somehow the cars don't like it. So the road was straight, but I see the camera is shading because there are a lot of bumps on the road, and here's my first uphill ride, so to speak. But this is nothing compared to what is awaiting me in the future. Eventually I even got somewhere different compared to where I wanted to go. But then I saw the seashore. So this is the first time that I could see the sea, and Pohang is still there. So I haven't left the city of Pohang yet. Along the seashore there are surprisingly many bumps and hills. So it's not a flat ride at all, as I had hoped before I started the journey. But the panoramas are beautiful. There are a lot of nice sights around. So basically the whole ride is very entertaining, except for the fact that in the end I had a flat tire. But this is yet to happen, so the unsuspecting me is so far just enjoying the ride. The best part of a bike trip, at least for me, is those downhill rides. So they're not very steep, you see. I'm not really accelerating. But the thing is, once you've reached a certain speed, you don't need to put in any effort to go forward. Just keep on riding. So my bike is 20 kilograms, myself is about 85 plus. My backpack is about 7 to 8 kilograms. It's more than 100 kilograms, so basically the potential energy is good enough to keep me going. At this point, my tire got flat, apparently because I ran into a bunch of broken glass pieces scattered somewhere on the road. And to be honest, at first I didn't even know what to do, but then I remembered this is Korea, so I just looked up a bike shop on my phone. Here is the bike shop that was open on a public holiday. That's the Liberation Day. So the guy was there working, and he fixed my tire in a matter of 10 minutes, and it only cost me 5,000 won, which is about $5. The only problem was I had to take a car to the bike shop, so I could not continue my journey from the same point where my tire got flat. But the great thing is that I didn't have to go back to Seoul. I just could fix things, or have them fixed, right on the spot. So this is the first part of day one. I start out at the city of Pohang. It's an industrial city, so there's factories everywhere. Here is located Korea's major steel producing plant, and Korea is the world's #1 steel producer, although it is not very well known. So no wonder there's factories everywhere. And it takes me about 10 kilometers to reach the shore. I could have done it earlier, but I found it more convenient to follow the path, the path I've chosen. So here's the sea finally, and I was surprised how many hills there are on the way. I thought this is a seaside road, so there shouldn't be too many ups and downs, but there are so many climbs. I was surprised. Actually, the total elevation for day one was greater than the total elevation for the last day, when I had to go over the Misirong mountain ridge. But at this moment, I didn't know this is what would happen, so I just keep going. And around this place my tire got flat, so at Odori I had to stop. That's a lot of legwork. Hobby more the Injegun. Here's the panorama. The good thing about Korea is that there are pensions almost everywhere, especially in the touristic area like this one. Okay, I know it's not pension, it's pension, but they say pension, so that'll be pension. And as I said, the sea road either gets very close to the seashore, or in case of the seashore itself is hilly, it goes inside and meanders somewhere there. These are the special devices that are used in order to counter the impact of the tide. I don't know exactly how they're used and why they're shaped the way they are, but this is definitely what they are used for, to counter the negative impact of the tide. Apart from all kinds of motels and pensions, there's plenty of small convenience stores where you can replenish your water. Water is very important actually, because this is August and the temperature is about 30 degrees Celsius, so if you don't drink enough water, you run out of liquid very quickly, and then you have problems with your knees, something I experienced several times. Okay, what's that? I'm not sure, but I think it's like an observation deck for the tourists. So far my ride is fairly easy because there are not many ups and downs, but as I said, I've already experienced some, and soon there is going to be more ups and downs. But the views are very rewarding, and as you can see, there are not many cars, so you don't have to be too wary of the vehicles. And on the asphalt, you see there's bicycles drawn, which means this is a road where you can ride your bicycle without worrying too much about the surroundings. Of course, you have to look right and left and even behind, but it doesn't happen too often, and so far nobody has blown his horn on me, so I guess I'm not doing too many wrong things, although I'm very good at doing wrong things. I like those turns when you don't know what you're going to see after you have turned around the corner, and I like it all the more if the turn is next to the sea. So you have your sea on your right, and on your left you have all kinds of things, sometimes unexpected things, mostly in the good sense. And the best thing is when you have a turn while you're going down, so you don't have to turn your pedals, you just use gravity. Many such turns along the way. Another favorite of mine is tunnels, because after you've passed through the tunnel, there's a downhill ride, and I love downhill rides. And you see here it's relatively steep. It is also a relatively steep ascent, which I didn't film. It's much more interesting to film the descent, which I'm doing now. So here we are going down, and I'm pushing the brakes all the time, because if I don't, I accelerate too much and it can be dangerous. So you can easily get to the 40-50 kilometers per hour, and that's no fun falling off the bicycle at that speed. So right now I'm not really doing anything, I'm just riding like I'm in a car. There's another tunnel and another downhill ride, and so here it goes until I get to the end of my destination today, and that's going to be the city of Uljin. So you see it's already getting darker, it's almost twilight. And I'm not going too fast, so I take rest. And I take a rest every now and then, so there's plenty of time to do that. Alright, so as I said, after my tire got broken, I had to spend some time repairing my bike or having it repaired. So I started off, I think, about 60 kilometers away from where I got into trouble. So it's to the north of Yeongdeok. And to be more precise, it is here at Pyeonggongmyeon. Yes, Pyeonggongmyeon, this is where I start. So here's the animation. I started Pyeonggongmyeon. And you see, the map shows I'm going along the seashore, but there's so many ups and downs. The total elevation here is 1,300 meters. It's 700 meters during the last day. So I finish at Uljin. As I said, there is no lack of restaurants along the way, so when my tire got flat, we had a nice lunch at one of those numerous places, and we went to the traditional fish market somewhere at Yeongdeok. I'm not sure where, but there's a huge fish market where we chose the crab to be eaten, a couple of squids, and so we had it. So this is the king crab. I never realized it could be so tasty, and now I know actually how to eat it, because if you don't know how to eat it, if they bring something like this to you, you don't know what to do with it. But now I do know. Very delicious. Then for dinner we had this traditional Korean dish, the pork belly that you fry yourself. I still remember an American friend of mine who came to Korea for the first time. He was really angry when I brought him to one of these places because he said, how come we are supposed to pay for something we are cooking ourselves? But that is the whole point. You cook yourself, you buy yourself, for yourself, the way you want it. All right, so I like it very much, this kind of dishes. And they say it's unavailable, it's not traditional in Japan, it's not common there. But in Korea it is, and I really like it very much. Finally, late at night, we went out to the seashore. So it's actually much lighter than shows on the photograph. And I think it was just a great day. All days are great on this journey. But this panorama is especially enticing. So the next morning, I'm on my way to the city of Donghae. And right now we're going to sleep in one of those motels along the shore.